Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm in my closet once again sharing another Ponytown wishlist. This is Ponytown wishlist number 6. Now how this works basically is I, give some ideas to Ponytown and everything like that, and then I kind of explain these ideas and everything like that, maybe a way to implement them, that sort of thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's dive into it with number 1. Actually, before we do that, let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for like another Ponytown wishlist or anything like that, because I will include it in a future video, or maybe I'll talk about it, or maybe I'll do something about it. I don't know. Maybe the developers will see it. I don't know. But leave some comments below for suggestions for another Ponytown wishlist, or just things that you want to see in Ponytown. Let me know in the comments below, because that might be kind of fun to look at and everything like that. So anyway, on to number 1. My first thing on this list is a ball on the map. Now this ball would be something similar to how the original Animal Crossing just had like a random ball that would randomly appear, and you can't really do anything with the ball other than like if you bump into it, it obviously rolls. That small thing, just adding that one little thing, maybe even just to the party islands, or maybe even just like, to a specific area in Ponytown, just that one thing will open up so many new opportunities for people to create their own mini games, stuff for people to just have fun with whenever they're bored, different things like that. It opens up so many more opportunities for the players to keep them interested in playing Ponytown longer, to maybe even lure in more people to play Ponytown. Maybe people have left Ponytown because there hasn't been anything necessarily to just do. This could be something that might lure in those players, might lure those players back in, or lure in new players. And I just think it would be very interesting. You could have different like kinds of balls and stuff like that. Maybe like have like it gets on the crazy side. You could have like a ball collection thing where like if you kick so many balls or whatever like that, or maybe every time you interact with a ball, it like registers a count so that it knows that you've bumped into each kind of ball, and there's like unique balls on the map and everything like that, and you can bump into all of them, and maybe add like a collection element to it where if you bump into all of the different kinds, then you get your collection up to like 10 or however many unique balls you want in there. That goes into the crazy side of it. But just having just a simple like soccer ball, or just any kind of like just random ball on the map that doesn't do anything other than move when we bump into it would be a very, very nice addition to the game that I don't think would be too difficult to implement. So on to number 2. This kind of is something that I've said in a lot of other wish list videos and just ideas in general, is we need something new to do on the map. And this idea is basically a hedge maze. Imagine a hedge maze area on the map somewhere. Maybe they expanded the map a little bit to, add it or something like that. Or maybe they add like a building somewhere and you go inside the building and there's like this giant maze in there or something like that. Just like a maze area where you can go there and there's a maze. I think what would be fun about this is something that you can leave alone for a very long time and not have to do anything with. Maybe give us a reason to explore the maze. Maybe we find something pretty interesting, unique, maybe some kind of story lore element to it, which we'll might talk about in a minute. But maybe some kind of interesting thing happens when we complete the maze. But something that I think would make this like hedge maze idea, this maze idea in general, is what if every other update, or every once in a while when they update the game, they also update the hedge maze or the maze without like putting it in the changelog. Because if they did that, that would allow the maze area to have that replayability. You can replay the maze again and like try to uncover it again, figure out where to go again. And that could be something fun that the developers do every now and again that doesn't really take too long, I guess, or maybe it takes a long time, I don't really know. But something that I don't think would be too difficult overall, to just add a maze area. Even if you never updated it, you just add a maze area somewhere that we can go and we can explore, and give us a reason to explore it, obviously. But just having that maze area would just be so much fun, because it just gives us, again, something new to do whenever we're bored, or if we decide that Ponytown's getting boring or whatever like that, adding this will lure in those players again. So it's kind of like the soccer ball, where it can lure in the players who left and lure in players who've never been before. Just a little hedge maze opens up a lot of mini game ideas as well, so just a lot of RP ideas as well. There's just so much you can do if you just add a simple little maze somewhere on the map, and I think it would be really fun. One more thing about the hedge maze idea, the maze idea, is don't let Pegasus fly over it. That would be something that you'd have to implement, I think. Add a maze somewhere on the map. I think that would look look really awesome and be really fun. I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to just have it somewhere either. So on to number 3. Use the boat on the party island to sort of sell at sea. Right now, when you go to the party island, there is the boat that you use to get there at the docks, and then there's another dock at the bottom of the map that has another boat. Give that boat an option. Give that boat a feature that allows us, when we get onto it, to sort of sail to sea. Basically, we teleport to somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and we're on that little boat, and there's not really anything else. Maybe there's a chance at another boat spawning, and maybe you can go there and interact with either an NPC or interact with players who've been there. Maybe it's just like a little hub where it's just nothing but ocean for as far as the eye can see, and every time someone goes there, it's sort of like a public party island sort of thing, but instead of an island, it's just a bunch of boats that people have used to get there, that sort of thing. Maybe that could be kind of interesting. Just some kind of mechanic where when we get on this boat, we kind of just teleport to somewhere in the ocean, and we can do something with that. Maybe we can have even more privacy. Maybe we can be more public in our parties or whatever like that. Some kind of mechanic there where when we get on that boat, we teleport somewhere in the ocean and interact with something new that we haven't been able to interact with yet. Again, I think this allows a lot more RP options. This allows a lot more minigame options. This allows a lot of options that we didn't have before, and it's such a small thing that goes a long way. So on to number 4 here is signs of a story. We need some form of like hints that there's some kind of story going on in Ponytown. We need some kind of like hint at that. We need an idea that something is going on in Ponytown, like some kind of story, some kind of lore, something going on in Ponytown that we can, become part of, or at least attach ourselves to or connect to, because right now there's nothing really going on in Ponytown, and the only story is ponies coming together to build a town, even though it's not really a town, that sort of thing. I think you can implement this in unique ways. Maybe like there's an update and you don't include it in the changelog or anything like that, but maybe the update adds like some kind of hint of a story inside the mines or the caves or something like that, or just hide some form of Easter egg sort of hints that some kind of story is going on in the background somewhere. Hide it somewhere that we can find, sort of like the maze area like I talked about before. If you include the maze, maybe you can hide story elements inside the maze that once we complete, we find that story element and we can kind of experience whatever kind of story is trying to occur here, if there's any kind of story to occur here. I think there should be some kind of story that's going on at the same time. It's kind of, it doesn't really matter, but having a story of some kind in Ponytown, I think would allow a lot more fun. It doesn't necessarily make it options for, new mini games or anything like that, but it does open up more options for role players and that sort of thing. And I think signs of a story is just something that's so small, but it will attract more players. It will keep players, invested if they do like the story that's going on. Just adding any kind of like little bit of lore or anything, I think will attract a lot of people and a lot of players. And finally, here at number 5, this is something that I've wanted for quite a while, ever since they included the signs for the party house, and that is the ability to edit those signs to say whatever we want. This is something that I think should have been implemented sooner. I think it should have been implemented sooner. I'm just going to be honest. It probably should have. Now, I will say that if we can't just straight up edit the signs, maybe we can use the paintbrush tool to change what the sign says. We can already kind of do that, but all we are doing is changing the symbol that's on the sign. We're not actually making it say anything. So maybe you can, edit that a little bit more to do like simple things that you've pre-rendered for us, so we don't have to actually type in something. So maybe we, use the paintbrush on it, and it might say something like ooh woo or oh whoa, or maybe it says something like welcome or something like that. Give us like a X amount of like things that we're able to put on the sign, and then just switch between, or just allow us to put whatever we want on those signs. I have a feeling that this is never going to happen, because they did recently add the paintbrush ability to change the symbols on the sign. So in my opinion, that kind of debunks that this is ever going to happen, but I think it should happen. I think we should be able to edit what the signs say in the party house. It just makes sense there's a sign there. We should be able to put whatever we want on the sign. If nothing else, give us, new like pre-rendered stuff for us to put on the signs, that sort of thing. And again, I reiterated this with all the last points, but this is something that would go a long way. It's such a small feature that would go a long way. It would help a lot of people, with their role plays. It would help a lot with making even more mini games. It would help a lot with so many different things. You imagine you could put like whatever kind of rules for your mini game are on these signs, and then people that come into your house or whatever like that, and you're trying to teach them this game and everything like that. It can be kind of frustrating to try and teach them this game and everything like that. But if we can, put it on a sign, and then they can interact with the sign and they can just see the rules, then we won't have to sit there forever trying to explain the rules and maybe mess something up when we're trying to explain it, or maybe people will try to explain it on top of each other and it gets to like a whole mess. Just give us the ability to add text to a sign. It doesn't have to be like physical text on the sign. It can still be that like blocky gibberish looking text. Make it so that when we interact with it, if we're the house owner, if we're the island owner, whatever, if we're the owner of that sign, then allow us when we interact with it to edit it. And if we're not the owner of that sign, then someone comes up there and clicks on it, then it puts up whatever text we did. Sort of like how when you click on the party island sign that's right near the docks, it just says something about the party island, that sort of thing. Give us the ability to type in whatever we want inside a little box that shows up whenever another player interacts with the sign. This is something that, like I said, it just goes a long way for so many other features that, like I said, it just helps in so many ways. It gives us ability to, more roleplay options. It gives us more mini game options. It gives us all kinds of new options just for that one small feature. And like I said, I think it can go a long way to bring in new players and like bring back old players. Like bring back old players, introduce new players, because now you can interact with this thing in a new, unique way that's kind of fun. Yeah, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, do those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.